Hello guys, greetings and welcome to your journey into learning Python programming. Today's topic is token and literals. Let's start with the character set. A to Z in capital and small, it's called letters. 0 to 9, any digits, it's called digits. Here is some special keywords, special characters, it's called special symbols. White space like blank, space, enter, other characters. ASCII, we will discuss all these things in details in our today's session. Let's start with the tokens, and our first topic is keywords. Keyword is nothing but it's a reserved key for the Python. That means we can say like that. Actually, it is a while or is a words that is particular specific meaning for the Python. So when we learn a variable and data types, we create a user-defined name. So at that time, we cannot use these keywords because again, I repeat, it is a reserve for the Python. Now, identifier. Identifier is nothing but, as I say, user-defined name. When we create a variable, functions, class, modules, at that time, we give a particular name by the developer. We assign a unique name. That name cannot be a keyword. So that name is we call a identifier. Now for the identifiers, there are certain rules. The first, you cannot use reverse reserve keywords. As I mentioned earlier, the name doesn't start with the uppercase, doesn't start with the digits. Identifier cannot begin with the digits. Python identifier cannot contain only digits. Python identifier's name can start with the underscore. So this is the certain rules. Python identifier name are case sensitive. It is very, very, very important. So it's a common mistake for the beginner. The name is a case sensitive. So please keep in your mind. Here is some valid identifier name. This is very important. We will do in practical also. Let's look at here in theoretical part. AB10C, it is valid. It's a contain only letters and numbers. Underscore is allowed. Okay, we can start with the underscore. It is allowed in Python. And here is some invalid identifier. 99 is a number only, so it's not allowed. Begin with the digit is not allowed. Okay, the special character is not allowed. This plus. 4 is a keyword. It's not allowed. Now, here is a command. Is identifier, it's written true and false. So if I say ABC is identifier, so it's written true. Let's do some practicals and explain in details. I say here 123.py. I want to check this identifier is valid or not. If I want to create some functions, okay, and I want to assign the name 123py. So I want to check that is that valid or not. And again, I have one more py, and I say, is identifier allowed or not? So if I run, the first is not allowed, reason because it starts with the number, and second is allowed. So it's written as true. Now it's running, it's buffering, just wait a while. See, as I say, the first output is false. Let's change it. I start with the underscore and ABC, and here I start with the underscore and py. Let's click on run and check. In Python, it is allowed. Your variable, your identifier start with the underscore. So if this is the command, you can verify that it is valid or not. Let's start with any number and let's try. It's not allowed. It's written false. Okay, it is very simple. By practice, okay, it's definitely you got these things. Okay, it is nothing difficult. It's just about the practice. Now, here is again, I just share some examples, valid and invalid identifier. There is my program, father underscore name, ₹100. Okay, this is a date format. This all is a valid format. Okay, and this is not a valid format. And I explain the reason again why it is not valid. Because here dot is there, break is a keyword, it starts with a digit, dash is not allowed. Okay, so these are very basic rules and I explain here. So I share these things with you and you can go through it. Okay, it's not much difficult. But now the next topic we will discuss here, literals. It is very important things. Literal means nothing, but you can say for the learning purpose, we can say like that it's a data. You can say like it's information, and it's a type of information. You must keep in your mind anything in double quotation is a string. Again, I repeat, in Python, anything you mention in quotation either is a number, either is a string. Python consider it as a string. It's a string literal. Integer literal, that means a whole number. 0, 1, 2, -2. This is an integer literal. We can say number. Long integer, float. Float, and difference between integer and float is float has a decimal point. So the value with the decimal point is say float. The number value without decimal, it is an integer. Okay, the same thing Boolean. Boolean is a true and false. Okay, complexity is a bigger version of the float. Float has a limitation to store some specific size value, and then the bigger number we use complex. The same things for the long integer. Integer has some certain range. The number is greater than that range. At that time we use long literals. And Boolean is again very important. Either it's true or false. T and F is capital. Keep in mind. Boolean literal is a true or false. Either it's true, either it's false. Let's explain with the example. Here is my variable name. A is my variable name. Equal to is an assignment operator. And then I say Python. It is a string. As I say, it is a string. Why? It's in quotation. It's in quotation, and I say Python, and we can say, see here very clearly, it's alphabets. Okay, A to Z, capital, small, it's a string. And there is no need to use print statement. If I run here, it's print Python. I change here, and let's say A. So in this Google Colab ID, there is no need to write a print statement, but it's equivalent to A. But only then for when it is a large statement in the code, at that time only. So here in my upcoming examples, I'm just printing variable name. You can also try with this now. So it is very clear, whatever I want to store, I say my variable name equal to, and then data and information. So this is my variable name. Again, I create one more variable with data type number, we say integer. Be equal to any whole number. Here, this one. It's a simple, I say 12, and if I run it, it's print 12. Okay, decimal and float. Here is a decimal point value, that's why it's a float. Let's click and run, check. I can change this value, and we can see this, it's a float value. Okay, multiple line string. Okay, multiple line string. If I want to save multiple line, but my next line is break. Let's click on run here. This is in the first line and is Python in next line. So it's a multi-line string. But you can see the output is spread in a single line. But when I assign the value, at that time it's break in multiple line. Okay, let's continue this. Like that. When I'm assigning the value, at that time, it's divided into multiple lines. So at the time of new line, at the time of end, at the time of break, whatever you say like that, we use backslash. Backslash is for multi-line string literal. The same things here. So what is difference between this and this? When I use triple quotation, it's like for comment. And here is I press enter. That's why it's print backslash. Okay, let's continue these things. See, so whenever I'm using enter key, it's print /n, and this /n is for new line character. We already discussed in our previous session. But still we introduce one more time. \n is for new line. I can print like this. Let me show one more example for printed. Hello /n. hello /n Python. /n means new line. So when I'm using triple quotation, and then \n is invisible, but when I use triple quotation, it's printed in output. Okay. Now this is my hexadecimal value. Okay, this is my hexadecimal value. If I click and print, it's changed the value. It's a hexa number. So in hexa 0x8, that means 10. This is my binary value 0B1101. And if I run it, it's press. Let me change the value. This is for 12. This means 8. Okay, so this is binary number, and if I print it, it's printed digit. Again, back to the Boolean. Boolean has only two possibility, either true or false. True, if I click on run, it's print true. False, F capital. False. Now I am directly assigning the value to my variable. We say like that, when I execute this command in the memory, it's occupy one bytes. Okay, occupy some memory and write the value. Okay, if I do like that, I say number is equal to 6. So that means in my computer memory, they reserve some memory, give that name NO, and assign the value inside and save the value inside 6. And when I say print, it's call that memory and print the value. So now here I want to explain tuple. Here we say in variable we can store in one value. Either it's a hexadecimal, either it's a number, string, anything. Now here I want to introduce a tuple. Now tuple is again a separate lesson, separate video for that. Tuple is such a big topic. We have to learn so many things in tuple. But for now that we learn about that tuple, we can store multiple values. We can see here in example, into a round bracket, we use multiple values. And when we click, it's print as it is in the round square bracket. We can store any number of values. There is no limit. N number of value we can store in one single variable. How to retrieve, how to delete, how to change, what is the use of tuple. We all these things discuss in our upcoming videos. The same things here. I want to introduce one more thing, list. In tuple and list, there are not such a big difference. But now, as per now, you can see here, I am using a square bracket. In tuple, I am using a round bracket. It is enough for right now. In tuple is a round bracket, in list is a square bracket. And we say like that here we can use multiple value. We can save multiple value. So this is primary, okay, it is a primary difference between tuple and list. And tuple and list, we can store multiple values. It's time to introduce a dictionary. Dictionary, we say key and value. It's a pair. Key and value. Then it's separate by comma. Key and value, separate by comma. Key and value, separate by comma. And we see that text as a string in quotation. Number, there is no need to quotation. Always string in a quotation, not a number. So it's a name, is Joy, age is 38, city is 1. I want to add one more thing. Language, I say colon sign and English. And let's click on the run. Here is the output in key and value. Key and value. And you say here, I am using curly brackets. Okay. So primary difference between tuple and list is it store multiple value. In tuple, it's a round bracket. In list, we use square bracket. And in dictionary, we use curly bracket. And in the dictionary, it's data store in a pair value. Okay, data store in pair, key and value. This is key, this is value. First is a key, column and the value. And again here you can say it is again curly bracket, but here is a data. Okay, multiple data. And if I click on run, we see it's changed the sequence. Okay, this is change the sequence. Why it's change the sequence? Right now, we are not discussing these things in detail. Again, the list, tuple, dictionary set all has a separate video and so many things we have to learn with it. Now you say that whenever I run it, it's change the sequence. Okay, and it's again used for the store multiple value. Now here, I want to introduce one more function, a type. When we assign the value, it's a 12, we say it's integer, but I want to check, I want to verify, is it really belong to the integer? So we execute this command type and pass the argument, it's a variable name inside, and I run this. If I click on the run and say, yeah, it's belong to the integer class. Okay, let's change the value. And if I click on the run, it's float. And as I mentioned earlier, if you are using quotation and if you click on the run, it's a string. Okay, let's say one more examples. Again, it's a decimal value. It's belong to the float class. Here, have you remember? I told you it's a round bracket and multiple value inside. It is a tuple. It's belong to the tuple. A square bracket and multiple value inside. It belong to the list. It's belong to the list. And the curly brackets and use a curly brackets and multiple value. And we use a type function and pass the variable name. It's a text. Again, let's see the one more example. Here is I say, and I print function name is type and pass the variable name as. Of course, it's written string. str stands for string. Okay. So again, it's a very quick recap. We learn a variable and its value. C is my variable name, equal to is assignment operator, and 23.5 is a value. So it is a variable and data type. Very important. And we check that with the type function whether it is a correct or not and whether which class it's belong to verify that we use a type function. Now, one more advanced level, how can we assign the multiple value at the same time to the variable? Look at the syntax, A equal to B equal to C equal to 25. As I told you, equal to stand for assign operator. That means 25 is C, C is equal to B, B is equal to C. So the output is A, B and C, all value is 25. One more example here I say X is equal to Y is equal to Z is equal to 10. And I say print X, Y, Z. All the values, all value is 10, 10, 10, 10. Okay. Now, here difference between this and this, here I am using equal to and here I am using comma. Again, I repeat, comma is the separator, equal to is the assignment operator. So what happened? A, B, C equal to 10, 20, 30. So that means first value assigned to first variable, second value assigned to the second variable, third value assigned to the third variable. So the output is A, B, C. If I print, it's 10, 20, 30. X, Y, Z equal to, if I say 11, 12, 11, 12, 30. And I say print X, Y, and Z. The output is 11, 12, and 30. So that means 11 assigned to the X, 12 assigned to the Y, Z assigned to the 13, we can continue like that. P is equal to 14. If I add here one more value P, it is allowed. Okay, so we can assign the multiple variables value like this using comma separate, and the value is again the comma separate. Now, it's very useful and it's a very interesting topic. Interchanging the value. What is interchanging? My A value and B. A and B value is 10 and 20. Okay, if I cut this part and I print, so A is equal to 10 and B is equal to 20. I want to change the number. When I print the next time, What happened? A become a 20 and B become a 10. See, look at the output. Now I'm printing in same sequence, A and B. Here I'm also printing A and B. Here I'm also printing A first and then B. But now my A value is first 10 and B value is 20. Using this interchanging command, okay, using this interchanging statement, value will exchange. That means now A comma B equal to B comma A. So that means B value, whatever the B value is 20, is assigned to A. And A value is 10 is assigned to B. So now it is very important statement you keep in your mind. Okay, it's very, very useful in real life, in the practical life. Okay, so it is an example of interchanging the value. The meaning is very simple. I want to quick recap. I want to revision that. J is equal to 25. I say print J. J is equal to 30. Print J. Now what you happen? First the J value is 25 and now it's overwriting on that. The J value is 30. The first value is if I say 5 and then I say J is equal to 1. The first J value is fine. Then it's overwriting. Okay, now 5 is overwrite with the new value 1. The same things happen. J is equal to 56, then J is equal to hey. What do you think? What happened? 56 is print or hey? Of course, hey. Right? The value is overwrite. If I say J is equal to high. So what happened? Output is high. Okay, so now the value is overwriting. Okay, the value is overwriting and the last output is the last statement. Here is very, very, very important topics. ID function gives the address of the particular object. Okay, I already told you when you run A is equal to 12, at that time I told you this A is keep in your memory. Okay, it's reserve some bytes in your memory and give the name A. And when I say 12, so it's put this 12 value, it's write this value inside your RAM, inside your memory. So every memory has a unique ID. Every memory has a unique address. We can say every variable has a unique ID. I want to check what is ID for my A. The command name is ID. Pass the variable name and when you click on the run, it's written the ID. This is my memory ID where my this value is stored. Same things, my value is float, variable name is same. If I click on the run, the address will be changed. Why? Because my value changed. Here value is 12. It's stored in different address. Now variable name is same, but address value change, address change. Okay. Again, I'm running same variable name, but with different value. Click on the run, the different ID. Okay. So all three A variables create in my memory with the different value in the different location. With the different location. Okay. Again, I'm create a list. List, it's contains multiple value in it. My variable name is same. Let's click on the run and see. It's again the different. It's again the different. Okay. Whenever I run this, my computer create, okay, it's occupy memory into my RAM and it's give this address, the name is A and store this data in it. Fine. Now, again, share address. Yes. Okay, Python share the address. Now we discuss here, every variable name is same, A, but every memory address is different. Okay, every memory address is different. Why? Because every data is different. Every data is different. So when variable name is same, but data is different, it's create new memory in your computer. Now it's time to discuss share address. I have a two variable, A and B. Both has the same value, 5 and 5. Variable name is different. Value is same. What happened? They share address. Is it one doubt? Yes. They share the address. 5 is again A. Oh, let me print B here. it shared the address. Okay, ID A and ID B, it shared the address. So when the value is common, Python share the address. That means we say like that, when I call A, it's go to this address. When I call B, it's again go to this address. Okay, I make one more variable with the same value and I print value ID of my C. Any guesses? Yes, your guess is correct. It shared the address. Again, it's creating on the same location. It's not creating, it's already there, but they are just sharing the same address. So when I call C, B, and A, it's hit on the same memory address. Okay, fine.